Hi, welcome again to this webinar, What's New in Tuleap 6. The aim of this webinar is to show you quickly, in some minutes, the main enhancements and new features in Tuleap 6. So for the agenda, we are going to begin with an introduction and an overview, and then we will have a live demo with Martin here with me. We will go through the Agile project management tool, Garret code review, the new Eclipse Mylyn-Tuleap connector, and the integration of Mediawiki. So let's go. It's always funny to begin with small figures. So lots of commits and files modified. And the most important thing is Tuleap 6 is the result of 1 year of co-working with our partners. We take the opportunity of this meeting to thank them all. So begin now with the Agile management tools for teams of any size. In Tuleap 6, you have the opportunity to plan and to organize your project implementing Agile methodologies. We will see in detail in the live demo how it works. You will be able to populate your backlog and to organize task planning with the look and feel of physical board. You can also visually track progress with the burn downs. You know, it's the remaining effort curve to show how the work is progressing. Tuleap 6 enables you also to boost your productivity thanks to famous open source tools as Git, Gerrit, Hudson, and Mylyn that have been integrated to Tuleap. This is very interesting because, for instance, if you have a Tuleap project workspace with user groups and tools you decided to activate in your project, for instance, planning and monitoring tools, tracking, source code control, in this example we will use Git. You assume you have activated also the document manager and collaboration tools. The workflow of a developer work is, first of all, he will view artifact from its personal dashboard or from its Mylyn dashboard. He will develop locally, either with Eclipse, but also with other development tools. Then he will push in Gerrit, and Gerrit benefits from the replication of Tuleap Git repository, user groups, and access rights. After pushing, continuous integration will begin, and the verification, build, and test will be carried out with Hudson or Jenkins, and then continuous integration will give a status both on your project workspace or on your personal dashboard, but also on Gerrit dashboard. After that, code review can begin. It's another person, the most of time, who will carry out the code review. And then, when everything is okay, the merge is done in the Tuleap workspace. More precisely, for Garrett Integration, as we said, Garrett integrated in Tuleap facilitates initialization and development monitoring because it replicates user groups and rights. When you created your repository, Git repository from Tuleap, they will be automatically replicated to Gerrit, and that's the same thing for user groups and access rights. You create user groups and specify permissions from Tuleap, and then replicate all of this to Gerrit. About Eclipse Mylyn and Tuleap plugin, this enables developers to have a quick overview both on the source code they have to fix and both on the bug they are working on. And at the bottom of the page, you have the list of the other bugs created before from Tuleap Tracker. You can also collaborate on content with Mediawiki in Tuleap 6. The famous wiki used in Wikipedia have been also integrated. So Mediawiki appears as another tool in the bar menu of your Tuleap workspace, and then you can create page and view differences of the modifications that have been made. Developers have also worked on the first step to make compatible Tuleap on Debian server. So this is the first step. So this is an alpha for the moment. More development and tests have to be made. So this is our first point. This is a quick overview, and now we are going forward in the live demo. Here I am on the demo.tuleap.net project. It's a server where you can also go and make all your tests if you want. I'm logged with Richard, and I am in the Agile project. And Richard is the administrator of the project, who he has access to all the tools and can modify them. Now we are going to demonstrate you the Agile dashboard. So first of all, I assume you know that in Agile processes you begin to populate your backlog. So here at the top left, you can populate your project backlog and create bugs, epics, and user story to explain your requirements, to explain and collect customers' requirements. And then at the right, there's the release plan. So here we are in the release plan 1.1, and then you can select and rank by priority epics and bugs you want to put in your release. Then when your product backlog is populated and your release plan also, you can go to the sprint planning. For instance, I am in the sprint planning number 3 to February 4th to February 19th. And from the release backlog, I can choose what epic and story I want to do in the sprint planning. So, for instance, I see that the capacity is 9 here, and I have 20. So that's okay. I have enough place to add other stories. So with this little arrow, I click on it, and that it's done. The new user story have been added. When your sprint planning is done, you can track the progress with the burn down here, for instance. So perhaps you know that the red line is the ideal burn down, but of course sometimes work goes quickly and sometimes goes slower. So the curve depends on how you progress in your work. You can also track task progress very precisely with the card wall, and you can update by drag and drop the status of each task. We are going to take another task, create quick set button, and from to do to ongoing. Okay, so I'm going to also change the assignee. It's not these people called Richard, but I'm going to change, for instance, to Martin Kerner. That's done. You have seen that the avatar has changed. I can also update the remaining hours when my work has progressed. About the search in the card wall, you can make simple search by this search area. For instance, if you want to know all the cards assigned to you, I'm Richard, so I type Richard, and I see that my progress is okay. So you can make search very easy and quickly with the Agile dashboard. So this is a quick and a big overview of the Agile dashboard. For more details, go to the Tuleap blog. I'm done with the Agile dashboard. I'm going to let the place to Martin. He will talk to you about Git and Gerrit.
So hello, it's Martin. So for the needs of this demonstration, I'm going to switch to another server because we have to run LDAP identification in order to make the Gerrit replication available. So let's switch to another server. Okay. On this server, I'm logged as Gmalco, as you can see here on the top of the screen. So let's go to my personal page, the demo Gerrit project, and the Git service. As normal workflow, I would have to create a new Git repository in order to push my work and keep track of it. So maybe I'll create a new repository called test repository. Sorry. Okay. So as usual, Tuleap will process this repository creation in order to set rights on it and create all the default stuff. So let's see if it's done. Okay, it's done. So now I want to clone this repository on my workspace in order to work and commit some stuff. So let's go to the git bash. Okay. Here I want to work. So first thing first, I have to clone the repository. So this is a repository handled by Gitolite on Tuleap side, like usual. So the project is demo Gerrit. And the repository is test repository. Okay, so it warns me that it is an empty repository, which is normal because I just created it. So now let's go to this test repository and push some stuff. I'll just do a small echo for the needs of the presentation. This is a README. Okay, then I add it and I commit it. Then I can push this stuff on the Tuleap server. So if I go back to my Tuleap screen and refresh it, I can see my first commit done on Tuleap using the Gitolite technology we already handled now. Let's talk about the Garrett integration. I assume that I have a Garrett server and I want to replicate, or let's say migrate my repository on Gerrit in order to handle them with it. So I click on settings, go to the Gerrit part of the settings. I can choose a Gerrit server and then ask for the migration. Tuleap will process this migration. It will create a project on Gerrit side. It will create the repositories regarding to the project we just migrate, and it will replicate user groups and all permissions we have previously set. So let's see, on access control I have some permissions. These permissions have been replicated on the Gerrit side. So let's go back to the repository. Now there is a warning. The management of this Git repository has been delegated to the Gerrit platform with a link to quickly access the Gerrit platform. I'll click on it and go to the Gerrit side. Here I am logged as Gmalco, the same user, and I can see that I'm on the demo Gerrit test repository project. If I list all the projects, I can see all my projects, and the one I just migrated is just here. Now I want to work on this repository, which is now handled by Gerrit. I have to clone the Gerrit repository, so let's do this. As you can see, Tuleap provides me the new address of the repository in order to ease my access to it. So let's paste this. Okay. So as you can see, Gerrit let me clone this repository because Tuleap set my rights on it. So I can clone it. I can see that I have all the work I previously made. This is a README. And now I can modify it. So let's modify the README, for example, adding yes it is. I add it and commit. For the sake of this demonstration, I'll pass through the code review process of the workflow and push directly into the references corresponding to my master. I can do this because I'm project admin. If I was a simple project member, I would not be able to do this. So let's git push. I pushed my work on the Gerrit server. Thanks to the replication mechanism Tuleap configures with Gerrit, I can see that on Tuleap side, if I refresh the screen, I have my second commit back to Tuleap, which is quite pretty. Okay, I can, one more thing about Gerrit, I can disconnect my repository from Gerrit if I wish to. Now let's talk about user groups management with Gerrit. I suppose that I'm admin, like in this case, and I want to create a new user group in my project. So I click on user groups administration, create a new user group, and call it code reviewers. I create this user group. Now let's add some members. So maybe I can add myself, and why not add another user? Let's say Cooper. I add it. Now, due to the Tuleap connection with Gerrit, this group newly created has been replicated on Gerrit side. So if I come back to the Gerrit side, okay, if I go on groups and list group, I can see that I now have my code reviewers group, and if I list it, I can see my two users I just had. Now you can set the rights and manage everything like you want. I think I'm done with the Gerrit part of the demonstration. Let's talk about Eclipse Mylyn now. We have an already configured Mylyn connector here. You can easily install your own on your own instance of Eclipse, using the Eclipse Marketplace. I show you on Help, Eclipse Marketplace. Let's it load. Okay. So if I go to the Mylyn connectors, okay, go. I have the Tuleap Mylyn connector OpenILM. So you just have to click to install it and then configure it like any other Mylyn connector. So I assume I am working on Eclipse, and I want to maybe change things on a task I previously created. So I have UI to display list of available rings. I can open it, and I can synchronize it with the demo server. Let's synchronize. Okay. Now I suppose I made a lot of work, and my task is done. So I'll change its status to done. I submit this, and all the changes are sent to directly to Tuleap. So let's switch to Tuleap. If I go to trackers, on the task trackers, I can see my task here, UI to display list of available rings, and its status is done. If I click on it, I can see that I just changed from review to done. I give back to Manuel.
Thanks, Martin, for this very interesting demonstration. The last part is about the integration of Mediawiki, so not a lot of things to show. I go in the administration of the project workspace, service configuration, and the Mediawiki. I just enable it on the workspace and update. Here it is. So if I go to the Mediawiki, so you can create very easily page as any wiki. And see differences between two pages. So perhaps you want to download Tuleap, so you can get it for free going to the Tuleap community website, tuleap.net. And if you want more details, more explanation about Tuleap 6, you can go also to the blog. Tuleap Roadmap is made both with our community members and our partners, so if you would like to share features you would like to be implemented or enhancements, don't hesitate to go to tuleap.net trackers and discuss with the community in order that Tuleap 7 is okay for you.